How is it going, guys? This is Samuel once again from Sonnytech. Okay, so I'm going to be your instructor in this crash course. Okay, so before we begin, I would like to say if you are new to this channel or you're interested in stuff related to web development, programming, WordPress related stuff, consider subscribing to my channel. Please don't forget to like this video as well, share this video, and also comment too and know your thoughts so that I can improve upon my new videos. Okay, so in this course, we'll be looking at the basics or the fundamentals of Python programming language. We're going to apply whatever we've learned in the course to build our course project, which is the rock, paper, scissors game. That sounds interesting, right? Okay, so I'll be leaving time stamps in the video so you can navigate to the part you want or the part you find interesting. Okay, so now let's jump to the environment setup. Okay guys, so for our environment setup, we're going to check if we have Python installed on our PC. So we can do that by opening our terminal and simply type in Python space dash dash version and hitting enter. Okay, so it shows that I have Python installed on my PC. But then if you don't see this, no worries, we install Python right away. Okay, so now head on to the Python website, that is python.org, and simply download the best match of Python for your operating system. Okay, so when you're on a Windows machine, when installing Python, remember to check the add to path box. Okay, so next we need a text editor to run our Python code. Okay, so now head on to this website, this site. I'll be leaving a link to this in the description down below to download Visual Studio Code. So also download Visual Studio Code for your operating system. I'm on a Windows machine, so I'm going to choose Windows. Okay, so once you're done installing and downloading Visual Studio Code, open Visual Studio Code and head over to the extensions marketplace. You're going to install one important extension which is known as Code Runner, which is this extension. Okay, so once you are done installing the Code Runner, you get this little play icon at the top here. Also, you can choose to install these two other extensions, which is from Microsoft, which is Pylons and Python. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for watching this part of the tutorial. See you in the rest of the lecture. Welcome back, guys. Okay, so in this one we'll be talking about comments. Okay, so comments are actually pieces of code, so lines of code that are not executed by the compiler. So actually Python's interpreter ignores comments, and also comments are used to describe or explain what is going on inside of a program or a source code. Okay, so comments are really helpful because maybe when someone picks up your code to read, you can use comment to explain certain part of the code to the person here. Okay, so to add a comment to your Python project, you simply press the hashtag key and type in whatever you want to type. So I type this as a comment, and also comments can come after print statements or functions or any Python code that can do hello world. What's happening to my typing skill? So hello world. Okay, so let me put a comment at the end of this and see what we have. Let's see if it prints out hello world. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so it prints out hello world. So you see comments are really good. So when someone picks up my code, you know this is a hello world thing. You get it. Okay, so that is it for comments. Okay, so see you in the next video. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, so in this one we're talking about prints and inputs in Python. So actually prints and inputs are functions in Python. So what prints does is it displays something to the console or to the user. And also input is used to request information or something from the user. Okay, so it's just like C out and C in C++, and just like the South in Java and the other programming language. You can name them in the comment section below. I'll check it out. Okay, so now let's print something to the console. Okay, so to print something to the console, you simply type print and bring your parentheses and maybe pass in a string. We'll speak about string later in the course. And so now let's print something to the console. Okay, so it says print is used to display something to the console. Let me expand this a bit so you can read it out well. Okay, so this is print. Okay, so let me uncomment this out and let's do that for the input. So you say input, so input, and we do same. So maybe I'll say enter number. Okay, so now let's try. Okay, so let me get rid of this first. Let me clear my console and run this one more time. Okay, so it says enter a number. So I enter something and hit enter. Okay, since we've not attached it to any variable, or we can let's try. Okay, let me clear my console one more time. Okay, so now let's try something fun. So I will say print, or okay, no, we've not gotten there yet. But then I hope you understand the concept in regards to inputs and print functions in Python. Okay, so see you in the next video. Okay, so welcome back, guys. In this one, we'll be talking about variables. So variables are used to store data. They are more like bags or containers in Python. Okay, so when naming variables, be mindful of these. Okay, so variables can contain letters, numbers, and underscores, but then they shouldn't begin with numbers, and they should not contain spaces. So saying you shouldn't include spaces in naming variables, you can use underscores instead of the spaces. Also, variables should be simple and easy to remember and understand. Okay, so these are some examples of variables in Python. So let me add one. So I can do a and assign it to maybe 2.5. Okay, so this is a floating point number in Python. Okay, so you can check out more info about variables from W3 schools. They have good resources and documentations. Okay, so guys, we're done with variables. So see you in the next video. Okay, so in this one, we'll be talking about literals in Python. Okay, so a literal is basically any raw data used for representing a fixed value. Okay, so one example of a literal is this. Okay, so the number is the variable and the 5.5 is the literal. Okay, so now there are three types of literals. We have the numeric literal, we have the string literal, and we have the boolean literal. Okay, so the numeric literal can belong to three numerical types. So we have the integer or the int, we have the float, and we have the complex. Okay, so an example of the integer literal can be any positive or negative whole number. So we can have -1, -2, 1, 0, 3, etc., etc. And also an example of the float literal can be any decimal number. So we have 3.1, 1.2, 5.6, 6.7, any decimal number. Okay, and also for the complex number, an example can be this. Okay, so if you've done vectors before in math, I'm sure you recognize this. So this is an example of a complex number. Okay, so these are also literals under the numeric literals. Okay, so we can talk of the string literals. Okay, so the string literal has two parts. Okay, so we can talk of the char. So char can do char and set it to just one character. So char is used to represent one character or one letter. So char, so it can be char A, B, C, D, just one letter. And the other one under the string literal, so you can have name and set it to maybe someone's name, so Samuel, or maybe color and set it to say red. So this is an example of the, or these are under the string literals. Okay, so for the boolean literal, there are basically two boolean literals, which is the true and false. Okay, so it is important to know that the true and false are case sensitive. So you shouldn't write the true with a small t. It should be always capital. Same applies to the false. Okay, so I said earlier, so the boolean literal prints out true or false. Okay, so now let's try this. I have this piece of code. So it says print 5 is greater than 6. So let's try and run it and see what we have. Okay, so it evaluates or prints out false. Okay, so now let's try this and see maybe 8 and run this one more time. This has to print true. Okay, so it prints true. So this is for the boolean literal. Okay, so guys, that is it all for literals in Python. So see you in the next video. Hello, welcome back. Okay, so in this one we're talking about operators in Python. However, we spoke about literals and variables in our previous videos, but we didn't talk much about them, but we'll do so in this operators video. Okay, so an operator is a special symbol that carries out arithmetic or logical computation. So an example can be, so let's set a to be equal to 5. Okay, so let's say 50. and now we can see sum is equal to say a and plus 5. So now let's print out sum. So let me wrap this around parentheses and run this and see what we have. Okay, so it prints out 100. Okay, so basically what we did was we set a to be equal to 50, and now we set sum is equal to a plus 50. So sum is equal to 50 plus 50, and we printed out sum, and this is what we had. Okay, so under operators we have arithmetic operators. Okay, so now let's talk about arithmetic operators. Okay, so arithmetic operators are used to perform mathematical operations. So we can have some operators like the addition sign, the division sign, minus sign, yeah, etc. Okay, so now let's try and play around with some of these. So we can set, let's say a equals 1. Okay, so no, I want 1. Okay, so b is equal to 2, and let's set c to be equal to, let's say, 5. Okay, so now let's do something fun. Okay, so now we can say sum is equal to, say, a plus b and minus 3. Okay, so now let's print this out and see what we have, what's happening. Okay, oh, okay, I forgot. Okay, so now let's print out sum. So now let's print out sum and see what we have. Okay, so I printed out sum and I had 0. So we said 1 plus 2, so that is 3 minus 3. Okay, so before we continue, let's talk a bit about string concatenation. Okay, so string concatenation just simply means adding two strings together. Okay, so we'll continue with the operators, but then I want to speak a bit more about string concatenation before I forget. Okay, so with string concatenation, so we can do maybe say first, let me see, first name. Now set it to a string. So let me see some more. What's happening to my typing skills? Okay, so and let me see last name. Okay, so last name, we set it to a string. So my surname Agbenyo. Okay, so now what can we do now? I'm saying we can set name to be equal to, so first name and plus. So we use this braces, this quotation marks to indicate space, okay, or white space, as you see in other programming languages. What's happening? Okay, so we can set this on to last name, so last name, and now what can we do now? We can uh print out. So we can print out name, yeah, name. Let's see what we have. Okay. Okay, so now let's print. Let me clear my console first, and we're using string concatenation in our course project. That's how I want to speak about it. So now let's run this and see what we have. Okay, so we print out some more, but I think the space wasn't enough. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now let's try this one more time. See. Okay, so now there's space. Nice. Okay, so that is it for string concatenation. Okay, so now let's continue with the operators. Okay, so we have the minus operator, which you can use this. We have the multiplication operator, we have the division operator. Okay, so these are basically some of the operators, so you can play around with this while practicing. Okay, so we have some other operators like this, so like this, and you have the modulus operator, which is this one, which basically prints out the remainder. So now let's try this. Okay, so now let's try for this operator. What does it do? Okay, so it prints out 2. Okay, so it does not show the remainder. Okay, so let's replace this with the modulus operator and see what we can achieve. Okay, so let me clear my console one more time. I don't know what is happening. Okay, so let me print this and it's evaluate 1. So this one prints out the remainder. Okay, so this is fun. We also have this operator, which is the 2 star or the double asterisk. Okay, so this one is used to raise a value to a power. Okay, so now let's try this. Result, am I typing, is equal to, let's say, 2, and let's set it to 3. Okay, so now we can print. result and see what we have. This will give us 8, so it means 2 to the power 3. So now let's print this and see. Okay, so it prints out 8. Okay, so nice. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so we have comparison operators, which is this one, this one, this is uh uh okay, so we have the double equal to, what am I even typing? So we have the double equal to, we have the not equal to, so not equal to, we have the less than or equal to, we have the greater than or equal to. So this is for comparison operators. So we're looking at it more when we dealing with conditions. So if else statements, elif statements. Okay, so we have the logical operator. So we have the or, we have the logical and, yeah, and we have the not. Yeah. Okay, so that is it for operators in Python. Okay, so guys, see you in the next video. So welcome back, guys. Okay, so in this one we're talking about lists. So essentially a list stores a series of items in a particular order, and you can access the items in the list using the index of the items, or you can look through the list. Okay, so I'm pasting this piece of code here which has a list. It's called boys, and this is the list items. Okay, so now let's print out this and see what we can achieve. So okay, so it prints out John, Joe, Sam, Sonny, etc. Let me get rid of this and let's try one more thing. Okay, so I want to access the individual items in the list, and as I said earlier, this index, we have an index of 0, 1, 2, 3 to infinity. Okay, so in Python we count from 0, not 1. Okay, so I want to access this very first item, so I can do say first item and set it to boys and use the square bracket one more time and pass in 0. So, okay, so I can print out first item and let's see what we can achieve. So first item, what's happening? Oh, so first, okay, so it means there's a typo, but still have to work. Okay, so first item, it should print out John. Okay, so it prints out John. So we can try this for the second one. So 1, it should print out Joe. So let's print this out and see. Okay, so Joe, and also you can access the last item in the list using -1, or you can, for our list here, it is 3. So let's print this. This should print Sonny. Okay, so it prints out Sonny, so it works fine. I think I'm making progress. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to loop through a list. So let me get rid of all of this. I don't think we'll need it. So I'm going to do for boy in boys. What's happening to my typing skills? We can print out for boy in boys, and we can print out boys, I guess. So now let's print this out. This should, okay, so it works fine. We've not spoken about for loops yet, but we'll do so soon. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to add items and remove items from a list. Okay, so I have this list and I want to remove an item from this list. I can do say boys dot remove. Oh, sorry, remove. So in JavaScript we can do pop. I like JavaScript a lot. Okay, so what do we want to pop out? We want to pop out okay, let me use a single listing. I want to pop out Joe. Fine. So now let's print out boys once again. Okay, let me clear my console and print out this. Okay, so you see now output John, Sam, and Sonny. It has removed the Joe. Okay, so to add an item to the list, so you can do so by using the append method. So you can do append. And what do you want to append? You want to append another name. Let me make it Jifa. It's the name of my sister. Okay, so you can append Jifa. So now let's print this out. Okay, so right now our new thing is John. Our new list is John, Joe, Sam, Sonny, Jifa. Okay, so I think that is it for list. There's more into list, but you can check out more from w3schools.org. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching this one. See you in the rest of the lecture. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, so in this one we'll be talking about functions. So functions are neat block of codes designed to do one specific job. So information passed to a function is called an argument, and the information received by the function is called a parameter. Okay, so this is how to print out a simple function to the console. But this won't work because we have to call the function. So to call the function, you come below your print statement and you say hello. So you call your function. So say hello, and we can print this out. We should make progress, and we did, because it outputted hello. Fine. Okay, so now let's continue. What else can we do with function? So now let's look at passing an argument inside of a function. So we say hello. We can pass an argument here, which should be hello. Okay, so fine. But what else can we do? So now let's see, print out hello. Let's put a comma here, and we can see hello. Okay, no, let's make it name. So hello, your name. So let's pass in name here. We pass in a parameter. So name. So we say name. Let's put a plus icon here to do the string concatenation thing. So we can pass in the name we want to print out in a string. So we can say Sonny. Okay, so this should work. So now let's print out this and see. Okay, so it says hello Sonny. Okay, so we can pass in multiple parameters inside of a function. So let me get rid of all of this. Okay, so I'm going to define multiple functions as I said. Okay, so I'm going to do def and say add num. This should be 2. Add num, and I'm going to pass in n1 comma n2, and okay, so what can we achieve? So I'm going to say sum equals n1 plus n2, and we can print out, of course, can print out, what can we print? Can print out a string which says sum is, and this should be equal to sum. Yes, sum. Okay, fine. Okay, so now we can call out our function which is add num, and we can pass in the multiple parameters. So we can do 5 and 10. Okay, so we're making progress. Okay, let's print out this and see what we can achieve. Okay, so it says sum is 15. Nice. Okay, so what else can we do? Okay, so before I continue, I want to let you know that there are some other built-in functions in Python. So we have functions like we have float and print. We have input. These are all functions in Python, but they are defined somewhere inside of Python. We have the len, which is for the length. We have the sum. There's a lot. Okay, and functions can be reused, so you can call functions many times, like the say hello example. Just like in React. I don't know if you've done React, but you see in React you can reuse components. So functions are really useful. So you can check out more info about functions inside of w3schools.org. So I'll be leaving links to these various websites in the description down below. Okay, so see you in the rest of the tutorial. So welcome back, guys. So in this one, we'll be talking about range. So the range function is used to print out items in a list. Okay, so this is how to make a simple range, or define a simple range function. Okay, so now let me print out this and see. So you see, okay, let me clear my console and print. Okay, so this is it. But with this list item, you see, ignore the last one. Also, we can do some fun thing with this. So let's try printing out. You see, it has just one interval, so we can make it 2. So let's put a wrap this inside of the list, and wrap this once again. If you come up here and let's make an interval of 2, so we can pass in 2 here, and let me run this one more time. Okay, so you see it's 1 3 5, so you see it has intervals of 2. Okay, so that is nice. Okay, and also you can simply do results and set it to the range and pass in 12, and you can print out, so sorry, 12, can print out results, and this should work. Okay, so it still works fine. So there's no need, oh, what's happened? So there's no need doing that doing this thing, sorry, doing the 1,12 thing, you can also try this. So you can play around with the range function. Okay, so see you in the next part of the lecture. Welcome back. Okay, so in this one we're talking about models in Python. So models are more like libraries, so you can import models and use them in your project. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to import the mass model. So to import or bring in a model or a library, you can do so import, type import, and we can do math. So now let's play around with this. So let's call number, and we can set this to 25. For here's 25. So 25, and what can we do? We can do result and equals, so math the square root. Okay, so you want to import the square root property from the math library. So we can square root of what? So number. So we can print out results and see. So we're going to print out 5.0. Okay, so it works fine. Let me clear my console. Sorry, clear. And let me bring this to the side. Okay, so let's try more examples. So we can also print out math.py. This should print the value of pi. Okay, so we print out 3.14, blah 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 blah. Let me clear my console, clear. So let's try more stuff. Okay, so now let me get rid of all of this and import math as m. Okay, so you can do this too, maybe if you don't want to. So with our first example, let's see, we can do num and set it equal to the square root thing. Okay, so 64, right? 64, and let's print out num. Okay, so basically what you're trying to do is that you can, instead of typing out maybe math in any of your code, you can type m. So here we could have done math dot square root, but we used m. So this is why you can, this is why you should use the import math as m. You can try import random as r, anything, any letter you feel like using. This is for simplicity's sake. Okay, so it works. Okay, so let me get rid of this, and let's try importing our last library. So the random library, we'll be using it in our course project. So import random, and let's do options. So options, we set it to a list. So a list. Is it on my keyboard? So 1, 3, 4. Okay, so what can we do? We can do, let's say, a variable called random choices, and we can set it to random dot choice, and pass in what? Options, and we can print out random choices. Okay, so this should print out a random number from our list. Okay, so it prints out 3. You can try it one more time. So let me get rid of this and see. Okay, so this time it prints out 1. There's a lot, so you can, let's try this. You can import random as r. Let me replace this with r and print out this. It should work fine. So this is why you can use the as to write clean code. Okay, so guys, we're done with our models. So see you in the rest of the lecture. Welcome back. Okay, so this I'll be talking about conditionals in Python. So you have some conditionals like if statements, if else statements, elif statements, and there are some conditional tests like not equal to, double equal to, greater than or equal to, less less than or equal to, greater than, less than, and a lot more. So we start with if statements. So if statements are used to test for particular conditions and respond appropriately. So let's type out a simple if statement. So we can do if age is greater than or equal to This should be together. 18. What do we want to achieve? We want to print out you an adult. Okay, so if it is true, we should print out this. And oh, so let me see. First of all, we have to initialize the value age. So let's call age. So we say age is equal to what? Okay, so let's make it 20. Yes, 20. Okay, so now let's print this out. Sorry about that. So let's print this out. Okay, so it prints you an adult since the age is 20, so it's bigger than 18. Okay, so this is if statement. So now let's do some if else statements. So we can come here and say else what? Print out you say you are you too young. Okay, so that is if the condition is not met. So let's make it 10 and let's print this out. You too young. Okay, so it works fine. So okay, so we're making progress. So now let's do some if else statement. So now let's try. We can do if. Oh, okay. So we can do if age is less than 4, and we can print what? Okay, now let's start from scratch. You know what? I'm going to just copy paste this piece of code here. So let me try. Okay, so I initialize the variable age, set it to 10, and I said if age is less than 4, you print out hello elif. You can do lots of elif statements. So you can do elif this, elif, and else. This is quite understandable. So now let's print this out. This should print wow. Since the age is 10 and it's greater than 5. So let's see. Our console should not lie to us because he has sharks already, you know. So it prints out wow. So that's quite interesting. Okay, so I'll say that is it for the conditionals. Since we're building our projects, you get to understand it more, and I'll be making lots of short projects on Python. Yeah, so short because I believe when you learn a programming language, you should build lots of projects so that you get used to it. So building projects helps you understand and learn the programming language very well. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for watching this one. See you in the next one. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, so this I'll be talking about while loop. So a while loop repeats a block of code as long as a certain condition is true. So it keeps on repeating the code forever and ever. If you don't bring a break statement or if the condition isn't true, it's going to repeat forever. Okay, so let's create a simple while loop. So I'm going to do number and set it equal to 1, not 100, 1. Okay, and I'm saying I want to while number. So while number is less than or equal to 5, I want to print out the number, and I want to increment the number by 1 each time. So we can do that by saying number, then we can do number, so number plus 1. Okay, but as a programmer, you should learn to write like clean code. You get it? So you can, instead of doing this, you can do plus equal to 1. And let's bring this while loop to the side. And okay, so let's try. Okay, so it prints 1, 2, 3. So we are saying while true. If we should have, okay, so now, okay, so what you are trying to say is that, okay, let me get rid of the number. Sorry, let me just uncomment this line and clear the console. So clear the console. Print this out one more time. Going to print. See, it's still printing. It's not going to stop. That's why I incremented it by 1. So when I uncomment this out, and we're going to print 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, so that is how to use a while loop. So let's try another example and see. Okay, so I'm going to say msg. So message, I'm going to set it to an empty string. I'm saying wow message. So while msg is not equals to quit, so it's not equal to quit. So what do I want to do? I want to say msg and set it to an input, and I'm going to say, so what's your message? Okay, so question mark, of course, and I can print out message. So I want to, let me bring this down, and I can print out. So I want to print out a message. So msg. Okay, so why? Okay, so has to be some semicolon here. Okay, so now let me run this and see. Okay, so you want to say what's your message, so blah blah blah. I hit enter. What's your message? You don't ask me until I press quit. So let me try quit. Okay, so it stops. Okay, so now you can add some properties. So you have dot lower dot this. So now let's try this. Okay, so now I want to do something here. So there are some methods in Python using the dot method. So you add the dot lower to this thing. So let me see if it will work. So okay, it will not work. Don't worry, I'll fix this out and get back to you guys. But then we'll be using it in our course period, so I think I'll explain it there. Okay, so now let's try one fun thing with while loops. Okay, so guys, I just copied a piece of code from my notepad and I pasted it here. So it's a little multiplication thing. So I set a variable n equals 2 and I equals 1. So I said while n is less than or equal to 10, you should print out n times I equals n times I. And I incremented it by 1. So I think I'm going to do that thing here. So it's supposed to be plus, so plus equal to. So this should work fine. So now let's print this out. Oh, okay, let me clear my console and fix. No, let me clear my console. Okay, so I think this has to work fine. Let me print out this. Okay, so it prints out this forever. Wow. Okay, so this is a multiplication game. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for watching this part of the lecture. See you in the rest of the lecture as well. You guys, welcome back. Okay, so in this one, I'm going to talk about formatter strings or formatter literals in Python. I want to paste a piece of code here and I'll explain what it does. Okay, so with the formatter string, okay, so when I was creating my course project, I got stuck somewhere because I wanted a way to type out strings and variables. So I had to check out Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow is really important. So you can just Google stuff when you get stuck programming. Okay, so I came across this. Yeah, so essentially what this does is I initialize two variables. I create a variable and I initialize it. So now 1 equals 10, I'm 2 equals 20, and I want to print out the first number is this, second number is this. Okay, so I'm able to print out the variable's name here using this curly braces and that of this. But then you have to include this f, the backslash, the slash n. Is it escape sequence? Yes. So this is more like templates or string literals in JavaScript, I think. Yeah, it's similar to that. Okay, so let's run this and see what we can achieve. So it prints out your first number is 10, and your second number is 20. Okay, so guys, thanks so much for watching this one. I would advise you that there's a lot of resources in W3 schools. So check out the Python part of W3 schools. They have good documentation. And since this is my first Python course, this course might not be good enough. I don't know. But then let me know your thoughts in the comment section and please check out the game because you learn a lot. Guys, so welcome back. And I'll say congratulations on reaching this part of the course, which is actually the last part. Okay, I'll see you once again. If you're new to my channel or if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And don't forget to like this video, share this video, and comment so I know your thoughts so I can improve upon my new videos. Okay, so guys, thank you. Okay, so what is this project for? So this project is actually for anyone who is familiar with the basic concepts of Python, that is the basic fundamentals of Python, and some prerequisites you need to know before taking this project. Okay, so before taking this project, you should know how to print stuff to the console. You should know how to request input from the user in the console. You should know how to use variables like initializing variables, incrementing variables. You should know some conditionals in Python. You should know how to use the while and for loops. You should know how to import certain libraries in Python. By this one, we're using the random library. Okay, guys, so I'm going to show you a quick demo inside of VS Code. That is a finished project, the rock paper scissors game. Okay, so see you there. Okay, so this is our game, and it says enter a choice rock paper scissors. So I'm going to enter rock, and it says you choose rock, commentator choose rock. Both players select a rock, it's a tie. So play again, you can choose Y. So I choose Y. And it says you won 0 times and lost 0 times. So let's try this one more time. I'm going to choose rock once again. And it says you choose rock, commentator choose paper. Paper carries rock, you lose. So let's play one more time. Okay, so it repeats the score. Okay, so it says you won 0 times and lost 1 time. Okay, so now let's try this. Let's do for scissors. This scissors. Okay, scissors. Okay, so it says you choose scissors, computer choose paper. Scissors cuts paper, you win. So let's try this one more time, one last time. And then print out you won one and lost one. Okay, so let's try paper. Okay, so it says paper covers rock, you win. So play again. I think it's enough. So let's choose N for no. This time it prints out your score and it says you won 1 time and lost twice. Thanks for playing. Okay, so that's the end of this is actually the project we'll be building for our course. Okay, so let me clear my console and let's start right away. Okay, so guys. Okay, so now we can begin by first importing our random library. So you can do import. What's happening? Okay, so import random. Oh, okay. So what else can we do now? Okay, so now we want to wrap everything inside of a while loop. So a while true loop so that our code does not end. We want our code to keep on running and maybe break it at the point we want to reach a certain condition. Okay, so now let's wrap everything. So you see while. Okay, so while true. Okay, so while true, what do you want to happen? Okay, so now next we're going to create our variables. So we're going to create the user move. And set it to an input. Okay, so we want to ask the user a question. We want to say enter your move. So we have rock, comma, paper, comma, scissors. So scissors or scissors. What else can we do? Okay, so now let's continue. Okay, so what do you want to do? So let me give some space. Okay, what's happening? Okay, so some space. We're going to apply the dot lower method so that when in case the user types, let's say rock, maybe spelling it this way. So let me bring up maybe rock, spelling it this way, or rock this way, or rock this way. So Python is automatically going to convert it into this form. That's why we apply the dot lower method. Okay. So now let's create another variable. So you say computer move. Oh, sorry. So you say computer move. And we set it to rand dot choice. If we give some space. Rand dot choice. Okay, so now let's rand dot choice and let's do set it to possible choices or possible moves. Okay. Oh, sorry. You see, actually, I'm not created a variable for this. So now let's do that right away. I forgot. See, most of the times when I'm creating these projects, I don't. It's for my head sometimes. Like some part of it. So we say possible moves, set it to a list or an array. So we say rock, comma, paper, paper, comma, and scissors or scissors. Yes. Okay. I think everything should work fine. Now, what do you want to do? So, we want to print out. We want to do print. I want to use the formatter literal or the formatter string, just like string literals in JavaScript. Yeah. So, I want to do F and backslash and now we can do you choose. Okay, so we say user move, set it to user move. What else can we do? So we put a comma and we see computer. What's happening to my typing skills? Well, because I'm doing this at dawn. So computer choose. Then we set it to the computer move. So we say computer move. Okay, so it works fine. So now let's end this right here. Okay. So let's test our code and see if it works. Okay, so now let me explain this piece of code. You see, we set user move to an input requesting the user to enter a choice, and we created a variable possible move and we set it to this list, and computer move we set it to a random variable. Okay, so you are saying computer move should be random dot choice of this possible choices. So you should pick up anything random from this. Okay, so now let's test our code and see if it works fine. Okay, so enter a choice. Let's see. Rock. Oh, it's giving us error. I don't know why. Okay, so I'll try and debug this code and get back to you guys later and explain to you how I was able to debug this code. Okay, guys, so I think I found the error. Okay, so you see it's possible moves. So let me remove this S from here. So, okay, let me try. Okay, so this should work fine. What's happening? I can't calculate. Okay, so this should work fine. So now let's run our code one more time and see. This video is getting quite long. Okay, so now let's try. So rock. Okay, so you see you choose your computer to rock. Okay, nice. Okay, so it's working fine as you wanted. Okay, so now let's continue. Okay, so now I'm going to run some early if else statement, nested if statement. So this will take time. So I think I'll copy the piece of code and explain to you in a bit. Okay, so I just copied and pasted this piece of code, this if statement. So we are seeing, so if the user move equals computer move, we should print out both players selected, user move, it's a tie. Okay, okay, and it says if user move equals rock, and if computer move equals scissors, print out rock smashes scissors, you win. Okay, so you can go through this. This is it's quite understandable. Okay, so I want us to move on because of time. Okay, so now we've wrapped this inside of a while loop. So what else can we do? Okay, so now I want us to create a variable that would request or ask the user if he wants to play again. Okay, so I'm going to come and be in line with the elif statement and create a variable called play again or try again. Okay, let me make it try again. So try again, try again, try again. We say an input. We ask the user for an input. And what is this input? Okay, so you want to ask play again. So play again. And this time you want to use so what's the question? So let me put question mark and play again. So yes or no. Do you understand? Okay. So I think I should give some space. And now let's try using some conditions. So what do you want to achieve? So you are saying if try again if try again, let me choose the first one. So if try again dot lower. I'll explain why I'm using lower here once again. So dot lower is not equal to y. What do you want to achieve? Okay, so we want to break out of this loop. That is, we want to end this thing. We don't want to keep on running our game. We don't want Python to keep on running our game. You understand? Okay, so now we are saying try again should be equal to asking the user for an input to play again, so which is y or no. Okay, so now I'm saying if try again dot lower. So maybe when the user enters uppercase y or uppercase n, it should lower it. And it's not equal to y, it should break. So if the user enters and it's equal to y, the loop should continue. So essentially, that is what you want to achieve. So we'll try this in a bit. Okay, so should we try it now? Okay, I think we should try it now. Okay, so let's see. I hope you are making progress. Okay, so rock, and you see if you pack away rock, you lose. So play again. So why? Okay, so oh, it still continues. Okay, don't worry, we'll fix this. Okay, so before I debug the code, I want to create two new variables at the top that will keep our number of wins and losses. Okay, so this will come before the while loop. Okay, so I'm going to create two variables, one called wins, and initially set it to 0, and do same and do loss and set down to 0. Okay, so now what do we want to do? We want to increment the wins and the loss. Okay, so basically what we have to do is just to locate anywhere it says you win. So just before this print statement here, we're going to do win plus equal to, we say 1. Oh, it should be 1. Okay, so 1. What else? Let's see. So it says loss, so plus equals 1. Okay, so I think you have to do this for all. So win plus equals 1. Okay, so my VS Code is giving me machines. And that's why you should use VS Code. Okay, so this is loss. So we say loss plus equals 1. What else? Another win. Another win for the boy. Yes. I want one once again. So wins. Yes. Beautiful. Okay, so we say loss plus equals 1. Okay, I think you're making progress on your code. Okay, so I wrote this piece of code here, so let me uncomment this out and let's run this code one more time. Okay, let me see if I do not make any mistake anywhere. So I think everything is on point. Yeah, because I'm not getting any error. Okay, so now let's run this. Okay. Wow. So let's try rock. Okay, so you see it's good player selected rock. It's a tie. Let me see why. Okay, wow, it works. You see, if you won 0 times and lost 0 times. Fine. So let me close my terminal. And essentially, what we want to achieve once again, okay, so we want to output maybe thanks for playing. Maybe if the user chooses Y. So after we break this, we break out from this loop. So let's come outside of our while loop. So we got a cursor to this end because our while loop begins from here. So you see the line when I clicked on it. So we can possibly, or you can start from here. So I'm going to do print and let's see. Thanks. What's happening with my typing skills? So thanks for playing. Okay, so thanks for playing. Let me put this emoji. Yeah, emoji. So thanks for playing, and we can copy this out one more time and so copy and paste. So now let's run our code once again. So let me expand this. Okay. So I always like rock. So let's try rock. So you choose rock, computer choose scissors, rock smashes scissors, you win. You should play again. Why? Okay, I won. So let's try paper. Okay, so we see if you choose paper, computer choose scissors, cast paper. Okay, so why? So you won one, you lost one. So let's try skeezers. Okay, so what does it say? Both players select it's a tie. So one last time, select paper. Oh, sorry. Okay, so as a challenge, I would like you to create another variable that would be for maybe when the user enters a wrong input. So maybe when the user enters an invalid input, you can be like, sorry, your input is not valid. So you can do that here. Okay, so you can come up here. I'm not going to do that for you. It's a challenge. Let me know your piece of code, or send me your code in the comment section. I want to know so that I'll contribute. Okay, some other time I'll look at it and also send you my reviews. Okay, so you can create a variable here and see, maybe try again or something, and or wrong input and be like, you say set it to an empty string. No, I'm not supposed to tell you. So go and try. If you start, you can check out Stack Overflow and find solutions. So now let's test out our game one more time. So I think I can clear my console. So clear, and run this game one more time. So move to run. This video is getting long. So run. So paper. So 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 paper. And do you want to play again? No. Okay, so this is thanks for playing. You won. So everything works out fine. Okay, so guys, we've come to the end of our crash course, and I'd like to say a big thank you for being with me throughout the course. Please, this is actually my first Python course, but then I'll be making more projects in the future. I believe the best way to learn a programming language is to create projects. So if this course isn't much perfect for you, there are lots of Python projects I have that you can create. So creating small projects will help you understand lots of stuff. Okay, so once again, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give this video a like. Please comment so I know your thoughts about the videos. I can improve all my new videos. And also, let me know the answer to your source code when the user enters the wrong input. Please subscribe and hit that bell icon. Yeah, so you get notified of my new videos. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.